say how old I am, but many years later is, I'm back to doing what I loved to do as a child, which is to be with animals.
Right.
So
there's some commentary on the chat that I want to pay attention to, because a lot of it's really great, a really great talk about how where we put passion on the priority list. I mean, people kind of sometimes poo-poo those kinds of things. Like, so what if you want to do it? So what if it feels good? So what if you love it? You have to do this. So what if it turns you on? It doesn't matter. It's not going to bring money right away, or it's not going to do this right away. You're not being realistic. But, how are you not being realistic? How can you not, with a fire burning under you, how can you not turn something into something magnificent?
Well, I just like to share with people, those that maybe feel like they have to do a certain thing. Yeah, sometimes we do to be able to pay bills. But my experience has been that if I ventured off that idea, that thing that makes me happy, there's always dead ends, or there's too many obstacles of, even job searching away from, what I love to do, and I've done many jobs, but there's always some kind of complication in regard to that. So once I decided this is what I'm going to do, and no matter what, no matter how I feel, if there's not enough money or whatever kind of stressors, or what other people say, because I feel some of the people that I'm closest to, family and friends, may not agree with what I've decided or approve of it, where at one point I think I valued that, I needed that approval, and I don't anymore, because this is my life, and I came here to do certain things, and I'd rather provide a service to do work that I'm just so thrilled and happy to do than to do something day after day that I don't enjoy.
Right.
But when you have to work a job, to pay bills, to provide for a family, but still having some kind of outlet, don't forget about what you love to do, and somehow, add that to part of your life, somehow, even in a small way.
Let me ask you
never
something,
give up on that.
Barb, and I'm putting this out there to everybody, and this was brought up in the chat. What is the difference? Is passion the same as purpose? What do you think? Yeah, is passion the same as purpose, or how are they different?
Wow, I think I'm stumped on that one.
Are you?
My passion just happens to be part of my purpose, because the other aspect I do is with people, but I don't enjoy that as much as with helping animals. So part of my purpose may be helping animals and people with a healing process, but my passion is the animals, so I can do both. That's a good question.
So
maybe there are some...
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that passion is a feeling, an expression.
Okay.
And of anything. I mean, you can do and that's where, I think passion is an experience, is a feeling, is an expression of your feeling. So if you're passionate about something, you're feeling something about your purpose. Is how I think. If anybody else has anything to add to that, I'd love to hear from you. 919-518-9773 or computers 2K Voice. You're welcome to call in and engage with Barb and I about this topic, because it's an interesting one. I also want to talk about, which I started to talk about before, I want to talk about how, passion in your life can come from many sources. Feeling passion for living can come from the work you do, from the people you surround yourself with, putting passion in your love life. What does that look like? What would that look like? To put passion in your love life, to put romance in your life and in your love life? I mean, what does romance look like? What would it look like? How would we live as human beings if we were passionate, in all parts of our lives, all walks of our lives? I think that there's you can't live without it. And I'm glad you brought this topic up because it's stirring me up. I don't think you can live without passion, without laughter, without humor, without connection, because it all is about passion. What do you think, Barb?
I agree with you, Marilyn. Very, very well put. One thing that came to mind when I was listening to you is I love children. I have 2 sons that are grown, but I moved to an area where I have 4 great nieces and nephews, and I could be feeling down, and when they come to visit, and just to take time and be like a kid again. I get on the floor and they're crawling all over me, and we dance and we sing and just have a lot of fun. So even something as simple as that, to enjoy children or grandchildren, just to become like a child, just even briefly, to have fun, and it really does change your perspective, in that day, just to take time and have fun.
Yeah, have fun and kind of wake up life, I think.
Yes.
And what stops us from doing that? Our ego. People don't play enough. That's another thing. People don't have play enough. We don't frolic enough in the snow and run through the streets enough and giggle enough and get goofy. I mean, we don't. We've become way too serious, and as adults,
way too serious.
I think that's a big problem that we have sometimes, and we don't, and we're afraid of making a mistake. And with doing something that comes through your passion, there's no perfection. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You're not clear what's going to happen. I mean, a passion, there's no structure. There's no, there's not a book written about what you're doing that comes through your passion. It's just a plain old passion that sparks you. And I think sometimes people pull back because there's no guarantees of what will happen. So Susiani on the chat, who we dearly love, so I just want you to hear that, Susiani. She said a daydream of hers for years has been to paint portraits of people's lost loved ones as gifts to help them grieve and heal. And that's been a passion of hers. And I'm curious to know what stops her. If that's something that you can do, I couldn't do that. That could not work for me. I wouldn't be able to do that. But if everybody would do, or if more people would do the things that is a passion of theirs, can you just imagine how lifted up this world would be? Because not everybody is going to do the thing that you're passionate about. I have a question that just came to me. Is a passion, and I'm putting this out to everybody to think about and call in, but is that part of our personal DNA? That thought just came to me. Barb, is that something that's part of our personal DNA? Is my passion solely for me?
I don't know. I just got goosebumps when you made that statement or asked that question.
So did I, and I don't know. It just kind of popped in me and out of me at the same time.
So, for me, when I get goosebumps, whether I say something or someone else, to me, it's like the absolute truth. That can we say God, Spirit's inspiring us? I hope it's okay to say that.
You can say anything you want here, honey.
Okay, so it's more like an inspired message that was given to you. That's the way, and that's deep. That's really cool. Um,
So, I wonder about that. That's a really interesting thing. Amnon, you look
it
like
is.
yeah, it just seems like your passion is, maybe it is given to you, it's kind of a divinity kind of thing, but it is something that is part of your DNA. Now, Suziani says that she believes that she inherited her passion from her dad. So, Susan said that. So I'm wondering if it's something that you observe, something that's inherited, something that I don't know. It's so interesting to take it to that level for me.
It is for sure. Well, see, you're talking about her. I couldn't hear her name good.
Susan. Susan said.
Susan to.
Yeah.
Okay, to paint. Well, for me, I can't even draw stick figures. Right? They look stupid.
Right.
So I have no artistic ability. But another form is I love to play the piano, and I can sing somewhat okay. So I didn't get where I could draw or anything like that. So I think we all have certain abilities, and yes, it probably could be. My parents didn't have musical abilities, but my grandfather, my dad's dad, did.
Mm.
So I believe genetically, yes, it can be passed down, certain traits, certain qualities
Right.
that we have.
And I love what, let's see, somebody saying, I can't see who it is, but somebody just said on the chat that be passionate about the pursuit. And I think that's a key factor. So whoever's saying that, I'm not sure if it's Suziani or Susan, but forgive me if but be passionate about the pursuit, because that is so, so true. Because too often, and we talked about this even last week on our show, where we had a gentleman who lost 200 pounds. You want to be excited along the way. You don't want to just hold out till you lose the 200 pounds. You want to be excited about losing 20 pounds. You want to be thrilled about losing, a shirt size or a dress size. You want to be passionate all along the way, not just at the end. That would be like a crime, to hold on to passion until you were done. Now, that doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So you want to be, how do you create passion? I mean, what is it, that you just take a lid off of something and you let it go? What do you think, Barb?
For me, it's something that I have to do something each day as a reminder of that passion, and otherwise it could just kind of fizzle. It's still there, but I think there needs to be some motivation, and even if it's just to sit and think about one day, say for Susan, picturing painting and how it would feel as she painted, and then how it would feel as she gave that as a gift to someone. And I have goosebumps, chills all up and down my body. Susan, I hope that you're going to start doing that. Mm-hmm. I think that's a wonderful gift. Mm-hmm. And I view it, when we have gifts and abilities, if we don't use it, it's kind of like handing it back to God, not refusing a gift. Well, right. It's not nice to give someone something to someone and then have them say, well, I don't want that.
So Chris says you have to nurture your passion. So Chris, write more about that. How do you nurture your passion? How do you believe how do you feed it? I mean, do you feed it by doing, steps along the way? How do you feed your passion? I mean, what do you have to do to make it, to keep it? How do you take care of it? I want to talk about passion in our love life, because I think that's something that people forget to do, take for granted. And I think, that's something that you can connect with pretty easily. And maybe it's the same tools, strategies, feelings that we don't do or do in our love life that we don't do and do in our regular life, outside of our love life. Not that they're separate, but, I think that when you don't, when you don't create that passion, it's not there. And sometimes you have to do things that are not just don't come, but you have to be intentional about it. So even in your love life with your partners, or in finding a partner, is it something in the way you dress? Is it in something in the way you light a candle or you make a dinner? All of those things create a moment. And those are all important in creating that passion in a relationship, even when the relationship doesn't have it. It's important sometimes when you want to hold on to something that you have to make an effort to do something that creates that excitement. And that's the same thing in your life. You don't have a passion, or you can't figure it out. So you have to do things like the drumming, like what Dory said, to create a passion, to kind of wake yourself up, to see where it is and what's happening for you. And this is all about freedom. This is freedom from the inside out, to be able to express yourself and find and feel your passion and make it bigger is all about freedom. Dory, not Dory, I'm sorry. Barb, what do you think?
I think it's very well put. I'm not the best person to comment on that. Only, I'm divorced, so there you go. And I'm very resistant to, I've been divorced 7 years, and for me, it was like, I don't want to go through that again. So, that's the life I choose for now. But looking back, choices I made, mistakes I made, things I did or didn't do, yes, I think it's very important to keep that flame alive in a relationship. But I also have to add that I think romance and passion is more important to females than a lot of males. So you may not agree with that.
May not agree with what? Say it again.
What I feel, at least, being female, that passion and romance may be more important to females than to some males. I won't say all men, but it's important to do, take the steps.
Well, we have a man right here.
Special.
All right, so hold on. We have a man right here.
Okay.
Let's ask this man right here.
I think you're wrong.
Okay, so what do you think?
I think it's important to men, too.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, so are men different than women on this?
I don't know how women are.
Well, tell me how a man is when it comes to
it's
passion.
important.
It's
romance
important.
is important.
So do you think is there a difference in the way men express it than women? Or is it just...
Some are, just like there are some women that don't know how to express it. Some men don't know how to express it. It's human beings. It's not males and females. I don't think so.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I do. I think that, I don't think it could be how a man is brought up, but it's not because of how we're all souls. So, my soul that's inside of me could have been in a man one day, or in the past. I could have been a man. If you think about it, I could have been an animal. Who knows? So I think that it's an interesting thing to talk about because we maybe that's part of why sometimes we wait for certain things. Why, maybe the woman doesn't do certain things because she's waiting for the man to do it, or the man's waiting for the women to do it when they really all want to do it, or want to feel that feeling or express it. So, and I'm sure that if there's any other man out there and you want to take part in this conversation, love to have your perspective and point of view, because, I think I think it's about, somebody said something on the chat, and it's coming to me now about timing. And it could be about timing as well, in how we live our passion, in our relationships as well as in the rest of our life. Because if the timing's not right, if you're not in it emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially, it really is a difficult thing to live your passion. But if you can, as you work through those things and your eyes open up to the possibilities and you can feel it in some place, then hopefully you can start to feel it in other places as well. What do you think, Barb?
I agree with you. I mean, a lot of us can't do what we like to do for different circumstances, and that included myself, but to never give up on hope or, to imagine, to visualize what it would be like to be able to do that. I think that's the key. A lot of people say that our thoughts create our reality, and the older I get, the more I realize, there's some truth to that.
I just loved what you just said about imagining and not giving up hope. Because whether it's a specific thing about a job or about a relationship, I think that's the passion suck, is giving up hope.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just really said a whole bunch of things right there. When we give up hope, that's a passion suck.
Yep.
And as long as we can hold on to hope, we can hold on to passion.
Well said, Marilyn.
Well, honey, that was, huh?
Go ahead.
No, that came from you. Well said, Barb.
Yay, well said. But, there have been many times, for lots of people where it's like, oh, that's it, I just give up, I don't know. And it's like, if I could tell one thing to people that are listening or will listen later, it's just, there's always hope. Don't ever give up hope, because you never know, things can change the next second for you. You just don't know. And,
that's right.
The feeling of hopelessness is a desperate, desolate place to be. So there's always hope. And what you love, focus on it. Even you can be in a down mood and just like, oh, I just can't take anymore, a defeatist attitude. And you can change your thought. It's going to affect, your thinking, your brain chemistry, how everything feels in your body, just by, to picture how you would like your life to be or something that you would like to do. And I do think, like I said, as life goes on for me, it's just things I thought about, things I pictured as a child have come to be. Mm-hmm. Because, that's something that I desired. The desire has to be there.
Yes. And again, I have to say, because I see out here that something about the difference between men and women. And, yes, some of it's true. But I think it's equal to, I think that what men do are equal to what women don't do, and what women don't do is equal to what men do. And I just think it's like a kind of like a crapshoot. I don't think we can say it's all one way or the other.
Uh-huh.
I just have that feeling. And just like Amnon said, I think that there are men who are waiting for the women to do it because they don't feel good enough about themselves either, and vice versa. And the better people...
Yeah, well, I told you I wasn't the best one to make comments about that issue.
No, but you're not the only one. I mean, it certainly is a point of reference for all of us. I mean, we all think that way. But when you boil it down, there are some really sensitive guys out there, just like there are some really tough women.
That's true too.
So I don't think we can say it's the scale is one way or the other. Because who can measure it anyway? Who can measure one's tough against one's sensitivity? I just think that we're people, and we all need the chance to, explore these areas and to really learn about more of our passion. And I have to tell you, I've been doing things I like for a long time. It didn't hit me until recently that some of these things were really deep down inside of me. I've been doing things I like for a long time, but but the feeling attached to them and the passion attached to them has shifted. And that's just recent. So when I'm reading all these things that people are writing on the chat about the things that they're living their dream, and I think that that's like magnificent, because if we can own up to, acknowledge that we're living our dreams. I don't even know if I'm living my dreams, to tell you the truth, because I'm not sure exactly, and maybe I won't know till I'm done. But I really can't tell you if I'm living my dream or not. How would I know?
But I think you're making a difference for lots of people along the way, Marilyn. So.
Yeah, listen, I know I am, Barb, and I know I consider myself to be like a pawn. I'm used. But I don't know if I'm living my dream. I know I love what I'm doing, and I love it more and more every day. But I'll tell you something. When I love it the most is when I really get to express myself the most. I have to tell you, this is maybe a little different than getting off the subject, but I have to share this because it was amazing. So last week, I was online at Starbucks, and the line was packed, and I wanted to go to the drive-through window. And I posted this on Facebook, and I've gotten so many comments and likes, it's blown my mind. So, because I wrote like 4 paragraphs, and I would never normally do that, but I did it because I was listening to a podcast, and it was this really famous marketer, and he said he wrote a post on Facebook that was like paragraphs, but he had to do it. And I thought, well, if he could do it, I could do it. Okay? So I said, okay, I'm going to sit down and write about what happened. Well, I'm online at Starbucks, and to go into the drive-thru, you can take a left or a right, depending upon from which direction, but it also takes you into the parking lot. So I'm online, and I'm just online, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm pondering things, and I'm thinking about the people in my life, like Amnon, like Chris on the chat, like Robin, who helps to update some things, and all these different people that are in my life that are supportive. Carrie on the chat, Debbie, has another show. Carrie has a show. You, Barb. All these people that I'm surrounded with, and I'm feeling so blessed. And I'm just in my meditative state, and I get to the point where I can turn left into the line. Well, I'm not even hardly in the line yet. And there's a car facing me, and I don't know if this person was there before me or not, but I'm so in my thing, I just let them go. And they go on the line, and I'm behind them. So I get up to the window after I've ordered my drink, and I have my $4 in my hand, and the barista woman says to me, "Oh, the car in front paid for you because you let them in." And I was like, what? My mouth dropped. I couldn't even speak. I was totally numbified, if you can imagine. I wasn't conscious of letting her in as an act of kindness. I just wasn't sure if she was there first or not. I let her in just to let her in. My feelings of the love that surrounds me, that I'm a part of, was what I was engaged with. The fact that she paid for me just blew my mind, because it was a universal thing. It was a moment of divinity. And I sat there and I couldn't move for a minute. So I handed the woman in the window my $4. And I said to her, You do what you want. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking tip. She's going to put it in the tip jar, and everybody's going to have extra money to play with, right? So she does that. And then I said to her, great, pay it forward, thinking pay it forward to the other people working at Starbucks. But that's not what she did. She took it back out again. She put it in the drawer, in the cash register drawer, and said, okay, I'll pay for the person behind you. It blew me away. I thought, oh my God, this is what makes passion. This is what turns you on to doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and that fuels you. It's like gasoline for the car. It's acknowledgement. It's that we're working in tandem with the universe, everybody. We're working in tandem. We're not working alone. So, Barb, thank you for bringing this up. I know your nudges was a universal nudge, and it didn't happen just today by accident because of the story. So I pull away, and I'm giggling. I mean, I stopped my car, still in the lane of getting out of Starbucks, and didn't even realize it because I had to call my mother and my husband to tell them what happened. I mean, I want to call everybody and tell them, can you imagine this is how the universe works? When the universe lets you see it. It doesn't always let you see it. You have to feel it sometimes, and you have to have faith that it's happening. It's just there. So I pull away, and I'm thinking how exciting this is, how the universe works. The next day, I go back into Starbucks, and I asked the woman, she was there, how long it went on for. She said at least a half hour. And I'm like beaming. I'm so excited. So I put this out on Facebook. And you know what? People on Facebook now have gone into Starbucks, have been doing it, and then somebody, Jim Ryan, I don't know if you're listening, but he's an avid commenter of mine on Facebook. He said, okay, then my birthday's coming up in December. He created a page on Facebook called Random Acts of Kindness for his birthday. And what he's asking all of his friends to do is to do a random act of kindness as his present for his birthday, and he's going to do the same thing. So these are the things that create passion in life. It may not be something about a job, but it gives us passion to live. So anywhere that you can drum up passion, you need to drum it up because it fuels you to do other things. It's a knock on the head saying you're in the right path. It's a knock that says you're doing the right things, and those are the things that give you permission to keep living, and living with passion is more the idea, I think. It's to live with passion, period, regardless of what you're doing. Live with passion. Barb, are you there?
I am.
Sorry, I had to do that.
No, I love the story. It touched my heart. Oh, my goodness. That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
So live with passion, right?
Absolutely.
So regardless of whether it's the passion or it's the thing, just live with passion, period. Find passion, find a way of living with it, turn on music, turn on candles, eat something good, chew on some good candy, take yourself to a good movie. Live with passion. It doesn't have to be the ultimate payoff for the ultimate job that's going to win you $1 million or whatever. Just live with passion. Right, Barb?
I agree. I also like to say, though, that what you're saying is so important, it may open you up to many other opportunities to, if it is your passion, your purpose is to provide a service that you love to do, it's just be open to that no matter what type of existence you're living now. Just be open, have hope, picture it. And yes, do exactly what you said. Do things to relieve some of the daily stress from living. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Dance, sing, play with children, get out in nature, go to a playground.
Yes.
Color, draw, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. That's it. Just live with passion. I mean, you don't have to pick just the right one off the tree. Just live with passion. So with that, I want to invite everybody to visit us on Facebook. The Breaking Free Show has a Facebook page. And also Marilyn Shannon, my business page. I would appreciate it if you go there and like me. And we'll put up the show notes on the breakingfreeshow.com website. You'll see it, so that if you want to go back and check out some of the things that were said in the chat, probably by tomorrow or the next day it'll be there. Chris is busy at work capturing everything that people say, so I want to thank her for doing that. And remember, I love to work with each and every one of you in any way that I can, business, life, whatever. Love to help you. Click on my head and let me know what I can do for you. And Amnon, any final words? No?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Barb, any final words?
Do something fun today, this evening.
Yeah.
And thank you, Marilyn and Amnon.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you for bringing it up, Barb. And I want to say,
You're welcome.
And I thank you very much. And if anybody has an instinct or a nudge like Barb did about a topic, a word, anything, an idea that you want to explore here, come on, bring it to me. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, have a wonderful, passionate week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays, 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays, 8 till 9 p.m. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays, 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays, 1 till 2 p.m. Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members the second and fourth Wednesday of each month from 7:30 till 8:30 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays, 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.